Martha Higdon with Quilting by Martha. I'm also a national educator with Handy Quilter, and I teach all over the world. So I always tell them about the double centering tape. So I want to talk to you about that today because people are always asking me, well, do you have a video on that? What are you trying to say? What do you mean? And what's it for? You're going to notice that I have this bar here, and the leader goes behind that bar. So I put on a double-sided tape. So I bought the double-sided tape, realized I didn't have a long enough, so I had to go buy a second thing. So I have a 12-foot frame. So what I want to do is open my second double-sided tape, and I'm just going to put double-sided tape on this bar. It's not going to affect anything. It's just so I can see my centering tape. All right? So here's my double-sided tape. I already have some section on. I'm going to finish off here. I'm going to place it. And I'm going to try to make it as straight as possible and come across this bar. Probably should have marked it if you want to be a little more so that it's straight across. It's not going to be anything for leveling or anything like that, so we're just going to leave that off there for now. Then I have Handy Quilter sells, it's called a double-sided centering measuring tape. It's about $10, I believe. So check out your local Handy Quilter store, and while you're there, tell them that you saw Martha Higdon's video and that you would like for me to teach there for them. So it's called a double-sided centering measuring tape. And this is what it looks like. It's a tape, and one side has the larger numbers, which is the side I'm going to be using. And there is a line in the very center. And then it starts out 1, 2, 3 on each side. So I'm a visual person, so I want to visually see when I'm advancing my quilt that I'm advancing the same numbers on both sides. So I need to take the top layer off of this double-sided tape. So I have it on the bar. I take the tape off. And then you want to make sure that you know where the center of your bar is. Mine is not marked, but it should be marked. But my leader is marked. But if I want to double check, I would get out the tape measure and double check, and then I would measure that bar, and I'm going to find the center of my bar. It should be where the center of your leaders are. So I have my mark on my leader right there. So I'm going to find the center, and then I'm going to place the center on the double-sided tape and sticking it to it, and I'm going out to one side. Now I have a 12-foot frame, so if you have a smaller frame, you may not need all of that. Excuse me. All right, so there's one side, and I'm going to place it out the other side. All right, so there is my centering tape. It's a double-sided centering tape. You can use the other side. I like the larger numbers. So it lets me know if I have whatever number is on this side, if I center my quilt top, when I go to advance it, I can keep my numbers on this side. I love the double-sided centering tape. There's two reasons why I love it. Visually, I can see. If I can't see those numbers, then my back leader is probably not underneath that bar and I've loaded it wrong. And it does happen. It'll happen 1 or 2 times and you'll catch on real quick that the leader needs to go under that bar. So that's the one reason, so I know that my leader is loaded correctly. The second one is so that I can visually see when I advance my quilt where my quilt stays as I advance my quilt. So it's very important when you're advancing your quilts that they stay the same center. So we have a tendency to push. I'm right-handed. I'll tend to push to the right, and I get down to my quilt and it starts to go off. So this way I can make sure that my quilt stays the same each time I advance it. So it's a real easy fix that you can add to your long arm. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe. Happy quilting!